So now we talk about in what you've seen in the recent news of a case at Stanford University where a student, Brock Turner, was accused of raping a young woman by a dumpster, caught by two guys. They called the police, and the whole story started from there. Now, the thing that's crazy about it is, obviously, as you see the verdict, this guy, dramatically traumatized this woman and raped this woman, but he only got 6 months. The judge only gave him 6 months after the jury had a unanimous decision to give him a guilty case, but the judge only gave him 6 months because they said he had a squeaky clean record and they didn't want to destroy him by going into jail too long. So this is really crazy and bizarre when you think about they're trying to be more lenient on him and not thinking about the victim in this case. I mean, you can go a lot of ways, with how people reacted to it, but Ty, let me get your thoughts first. What do you think about this situation?
First and foremost, whatever, I'm gonna go there. We live in a day and age where I'm not trying to raise bait, but this is one of those things where you see it and you're like, how is that right? Oh yeah, okay. So again, I don't mean to go there, but literally, Aaron Persky, that's his name, he basically said that he has a squeaky clean record, and he doesn't look like someone who would, survive in prison. So my question to you is, what does a person who looks like they could survive in prison look like? Okay. The fact of the matter is, this man was caught by two eyewitnesses who chased him, held him down until cops came, and you're bypassing 6 years, and you're giving him 6 months, and he'll probably do 3. It's unacceptable. It's absolutely unacceptable. Again, when wrong happens, something needs to be done about it. You keep slapping people on the wrist, you're welcoming more cases and scenarios of this coming on, and then you have a disproportionate ratio of certain folks getting locked up compared to others because you feel like they should be prosecuted more harder than other folks. I've seen people younger than Brock get prosecuted for longer, so it's
I mean, it obviously doesn't make it any better when you think about, Brock, he's a swimmer. This is another case where an athlete is caught or accused or, acquitted of them raping another female.
We were just talking about Baylor last week.
Yeah, but let's be honest. This is kind of different because he's getting 6 months for what we all know is white privilege. I mean, if you want to be blunt about it, because if you think about this situation compared to the guys at Baylor or some other guys that got accused of raping, those guys are spending 20 to 30 years in jail. And this is their first time. I mean, obviously they're big name football stars, big name basketball stars.
True.
There's a lot on the line for the university to lose. There's a lot of money at stake, which is probably this case. This guy, I heard, bought the best lawyers in the world to, help himself out. So money takes a huge deal makes a huge impact in its actual situation. But you think about it, like they're saying he has a squeaky clean record. They don't want to destroy him, but they don't think the same thing when it comes to those black football players, the black basketball players. I mean, just to be honest with you, because those guys, like I say, get 20 to 30 years, and they're just like, well, there it is. Chalk up another one to the board.
He's a swimmer, so I mean, I didn't look into whether or not that's how he's paying for school, or maybe his folks are paying for school with the same money that maybe they paid his prosecution team. But at the same time, the other thing that burns me up, and I'll keep bringing up Trayvon because this was a man who was minding his own business before he got murdered. When Trayvon died, we saw all these pictures of him that showed him in a bad light, the middle finger pictures, the one of him smoking, and he's the victim. Here we have the perpetrator, and we're seeing his swimming portraits of him in
all his accolades,
in the suit and the tie, and he's pristine and clean. And there's a smear campaign. I don't care what you say. There's a smear campaign for certain folks compared to other folks, and it's just not right. But let us know what you think about this awful case in the comments below. But don't forget to also like the video, like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, subscribe to the YouTube channel.
Yes, and we want to send our condolences out to all victims who've ever been in this situation, especially the victim in this case. Please, send your blessings out to those people because those are the real victims out here. And also, continue to follow us. We'll give you some more insight on how we think about things.